Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1. It's the bald and the beautiful. Everything from Nashville to Hollywood on My Country 96.1.
All right, let's start with Billy Joe Shaver, famous outlaw in country music, had a stroke, passed away at the age of 81. Willie Nelson once called him the greatest living songwriter, which is a pretty good stamp of approval. Billy Joe Shaver, gone at 81. Kane Brown with a big performing slot, halftime of the Cowboys Washington football team game on Thanksgiving. Now, I will say, all due respect, Kane, it is a great slot. This year could be a tough time getting viewers. Both teams absolutely stink. It will be interesting to see what Thanksgiving is like for the NFL this year. But he does get the halftime slot of the Cowboys Thanksgiving game, which is a good one. Luke Combs, first country artist ever to top Apple Music's album chart twice. Well done, 2019, and then the same album, deluxe version, just released here in 2020. So follow me on this. The Big Ten Conference in college football, which is huge, has Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, many others, even locally, Rutgers. They canceled their football season back in July or August, but then there was a lot of uproar from the players and the parents of the players and a bunch of other people. And after a lot of talking and protesting and all sorts of stuff, the Big Ten decided to bring football back, and they kicked off last weekend. Well, Wisconsin, who is a top 10 team in the nation, finally recorded some cases of COVID, not only their starting quarterback, but their backup quarterback and others. So the Wisconsin-Nebraska game canceled this weekend, will not be made up. The rule in the Big Ten is anything that is pushed off will be officially canceled, not postponed. So Wisconsin-Nebraska off the schedule. Justin Turner of the Dodgers, he was taken out mid-game in the clinching Game 6 of the World Series, a positive test result for COVID, which is interesting because a couple of things here. The fact that the test results came back mid-game and not prior to the game is interesting enough, but the commissioner's office is investigating for a couple of reasons. Number one, they look bad because Justin Turner, after the game was over, went onto the field to celebrate with his teammates without a mask at times. He had a mask on, a mask off, which is kind of a microcosm of what goes on in America today. That's the first thing. So the commissioner's office, it's a bad look for Major League Baseball. The other thing is they had negotiations with the players' union, between the owners and the players' union, as they always do for all their contracts and things, of the different rules for the season. And one of them is if you're diagnosed with COVID, you have to remove yourself and, leave the premises and go quarantine and all that. And there Justin Turner was back on the field with no mask with his teammates. So the commissioner's office probably going to come down on the Dodgers at some point. The World Series also the least watched ever in history. And by the way, I will back up baseball on this. I watched a lot of the World Series. It was very exciting. If you're into baseball, it was a pretty good World Series. The Super Bowl in Tampa, 20% capacity, they say, the NFL, which will be interesting to see, if they've sold all the tickets, if they were pre-sold, or, I guess they weren't, but, if the Super Bowl was sold a year ago and it was filled to capacity, who do you allow in and who do you not allow in now that it's only 20% capacity? But that will be the deal. Barring any other restrictions, that will be what's going on in Tampa. Kim Kardashian flew her whole family and all their significant others and children to a private island, a fancy resort called the Brando in French Polynesia. Cost her over $1 million, chartered a plane, all sorts of food and spa visits and things. And she, that it would be fine if she kept it quiet, but she was kind of bragging about it on social media, as they call it on social media, a humble brag, where you really want to brag, but you're trying to sound humble about it. Anyway, she's getting a lot of backlash, obviously, during these times. Bachelor host Chris Harrison has a new line of wedding rings for men. The album Red from Taylor Swift, in an article with Rolling Stone and Apple Music, she said, by the way, the reason she was interviewed about it, because it's 8 years old already, amazing, 2012. She says it's her one true breakup album. She may have breakup songs on other albums, but Red was specifically written for a few breakups, and every song is basically inspired by a breakup. So there you go. If you want the ultimate Taylor breakup album, that is the one to have in your collection, Red, which is a phenomenal album from 8 years ago. Eddie Van Halen, his home studio, allegedly could have close to 1 million CDs and cassettes with unreleased music. His family has to go through it. And by the way, that would be a great biopic or feature film. I'd love to see Hollywood tell the story of Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen. 62-year-old Janice Jones, she is now a star. She's in Borat 2, and I have not seen Borat 2, but allegedly she comes off very nice, and she's just a sweet woman. And anyway, there's a GoFundMe page set up where she already has $86,000 raised for her. And finally, Harry Styles, his car broke down, and he was waiting for help, and I guess a house nearby let him in to hang out. And there was a big fan in the house, but the fan was not home at the time. So I don't know if it was a parent that let him in or something, or however it was, but he fed the fish, he left a note for the big fan, and then he went on his way. Can you even imagine if your favorite celebrity or some big star was at your house waiting for car repair and you were not home at the time? That is just bad luck. Plain and simple. Wrong place, wrong time. TV, Panthers, Falcons on Fox, and all the games tonight on ABC. Family Feud, Press Your Luck, Match Game. There you have it, your bald and the beautiful, everything from Nashville to Hollywood. Let's hit the roads, my country, 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.